I'm Renaldo McKenzie of the Neoliberal podcast, the author of Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty and Resistance, which is available on all platforms. In all formats on various platforms, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and their website, store.theneoliberal.com. There is a new book that's coming out entitled Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, Unfair Competition and the Death of Nations. It is the continuation of book one, so book two is going to be coming out. It's a powerful title, but this is not why I want to talk. I don't want to talk about the book, and I don't want to talk about the fact that the Neoliberal podcast is now a 50c3 company. We recently got a donation. I want to say thank you for the person who donated to us recently. Thank you for your donation, and you guys can go on theneoliberal.com or anchor.fm/the Neoliberal and check out how you can donate to us. And probably at the end of, if you go into the description of this podcast, you'll be able to see how you can donate to us. But this is a quick note. I want to share a quick note with you because recently Republican consultant said that the real American crisis is not that we have a president of broken character, but that an entire political movement chose him knowingly, repeatedly, and joyfully. I did respond in a tweet saying, history recorded that the Jews and Gentiles chose Barabbas over Jesus. They chose to free a criminal and to crucify a good man. This is the character of man that Jesus came to save and to reappropriate. Over 2,000 years later, we are still choosing criminals. Nothing has changed. I tweeted that on March 27 in response to Stuart Stevens' article in Mississippi Today, which I tweeted it on the Neoliberal Twitter page and also reposted it on my Twitter page, Renaldo C. McKenzie or Renaldo McKenzie. But I thought about it today and I said, actually, I disagree with that. And I actually wrote an article which I'm going to publish. And I thought about it some more and I said, actually, on the contrary, the real American crisis is not merely political. It is moral. It is not merely political. It is moral. I'm going to push back on Republican strategist and Stephen Stewart or Stuart Stevens in his article because I disagree with him. The thing is, I'm saying that on the contrary, Stephen or Mr. Stevens, the real American crisis is not merely political. It is moral. We are confronted with a president whose character appears fractured, whose words and actions often stands in contradiction. It is not enough to say, as Stuart Stevens suggests, that an entire political movement chose Donald Trump. That may be true, but it does not absolve the deeper concern. If a leader is perceived as hypocritical and duplicitous, saying one thing while doing another, then trust becomes impossible. Trust becomes an impossible currency, and without trust, diplomacy falters. The question is, how can adversaries such as Iran take seriously the promise of a man whose actions disrupt his own negotiations? To speak of peace while advancing conflict is to erode credibility on the world stage. No one bargains confidentially with inconsistency, and of course, Donald Trump and Israel attacked Iran while they were in negotiation. The diplomats were meeting and negotiating, and they attacked in the middle of the negotiation. That makes no sense. And now we're hearing that he's negotiating with the Iranians, but he's planning on sending over 3,500 troops or boots on the ground. It's just difficult to follow Donald Trump. How can adversaries such as Iran take seriously the promise of a man whose actions disrupt? How can we expect him to end the war? This is the deeper problem, and yet perhaps this is not new. History reminds us that humanity has long wrestled with its own contradictions. In the biblical account, the crowd chose Barabbas, a criminal, over Jesus. They freed one they feared and condemned, one they did not understand. It was not simply a political decision, it was a decision of human frailty. And of course, over 2,000 years later, the pattern feels hauntingly familiar. We are still choosing, still weighting spectacle over substance, impulse over integrity. Perhaps nothing has changed, or perhaps the challenge has always been the same. Not merely to choose leaders, but to confront the nature within ourselves that makes such choices possible. It is difficult for us to expect Donald Trump to represent this country when his reputation has been tarnished. He is duplicitous and hypocritical, and he has double messages. And that's the point I'm making. It is an American crisis. It is a crisis when a leader who has a broken character is expected to represent us in the world, to make deals in order to advance American interest, but also the interest of the world. He says one thing and does something else. We can't work with that. That is something that you cannot work with. And I don't know how this is going to play out over the next 2-3 years, because if he has a broken character, then who wants to sit down and talk with someone who have moral feelings and is unethical, who believes the law does not govern them, someone who is a king? It makes no sense. I'm Renaldo, McKenzie, and this is a quick note.